Welcome to this week's wrap-up on the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival in this final episode of the Calabash community. I am Lucia Joseph. The renowned festival serves as the perfect avenue for returning nationals to enjoy their island home. It is also a platform for those who have achieved in the diaspora to share their skill, especially in the areas of music and, since the inclusion of the arts, fashion. In this, the second showing of haute couture, St. Lucian models and designers worked alongside the best in the region and beyond. Among them was Shala Monroque. The New York-based model and fashion editor was a guest of honor at the event. Shala, who has graced the covers of numerous magazines and runways, is described internationally as both the ultra-modern fashion creative and the traditionalist, with a love of vintage silhouettes and discretion that invokes a bygone era. As a child in St. Lucia, Shala developed her fashion eye through the old Vogue and Tatler magazines her mother brought home from her job at the beachfront St. Lucian Rex Resort Hotel at Rodney Bay. We caught up with Shala Monroque for an update on her career.
Now I'm freelancing, consulting for different brands in fashion art and interior design. La Mer is one of them. Gagosian Gallery I work for, and there's a new young couple of furniture designers who launching actually this month that I'll be hosting and working with them closely on that.
Being on the cover of Town and Country is a huge deal for anyone. Mm-hmm. How did it feel as a young girl who grew up in St. Lucia without exposure to, mass marketing and mass fashion?
It was a bit overwhelming. I agreed to do it mainly because I thought there's hardly ever any women of color on that magazine. It's the oldest magazine in America. The only other person I can think of was Iman, so I thought that was important. A few months leading up to it, I was very, very nervous about it being released, but I'm happy I did it. I think the more women of color are featured in fashion and ad campaigns on the cover of magazines, then we're getting one step closer to, well, I don't want to say being included, but getting the recognition we deserve.
Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to someone who's looking to begin a career in fashion?
Well, first of all, to pay attention, and I noticed that most young people, even children here, have telephones and have access to the internet, so pay attention to what the big magazines are doing, what the designers are doing. Go to the library. There's a library here. I used to go as a child. I think that was that formed a big part of who I am. Go to the library and read, not only read about fashion, read about anything you can get your hands on, because that's really where you're going to stand out. Fashion really is based on references, cultural references, historical references, and it's not really about knowing so much about clothes per se, but having a point of view. And there are many different fields in fashion. It doesn't have to, now especially because it's so big, I mean, you can work in photography and music and design, graphic design, textile design, web design, social media, all of that. There are these are different facets of fashion. And you don't necessarily even have to be in a big city these days to work in fashion or in many fields. You can, if you have a strong enough point of view and even be here, you can be noticed if you have something unique to say. So read is the first thing. Go to the library, go online and read. It was started by the Caribbean Environmental Alliance, and one of the brands that I worked with gave me some money to give to a charity of my choice, and I was looking for something in St. Lucia. Why not? And someone pointed out Kids for Coral to me, and I thought it was really great because I remember My mother worked at a hotel, and sometimes the guests would invite me over to the hotel and I'd go snorkeling. I had access to certain things that not every child has access to, and I think it's shaped my respect for the environment. And I think if we start young with the kids, then that's going to change the way they view and appreciate the environment and what they tell their parents as well. So I think if we start young and help kids form a healthy relationship with the environment, then that's just a step in the right direction. So I hope a company from St. Lucia will pick it up and continue sponsoring. I know there are lots of lovely hotels on the beaches, so it would be nice if they would chip in.
And from a daughter of the soil to a daughter born under the Caribbean sun, the phenomenal Tessanne Chin proved once again she is the voice. The Jamaican songstress displayed her versatility as a vocalist main stage Sunday. She spoke to the media about her career.
I think for me the sense of responsibility lies within, I wouldn't want to do anything that I wouldn't be proud of, or I wouldn't want to do anything that my husband or my parents wouldn't be proud of. So that's how I look at it.
So how is the project going in terms of the album? Is it on time?
Well, we pushed the release date back to June 24th, but we are performing our first single this Tuesday on The Voice. So I'm very excited, kind of nervous, but it's called Everything Reminds Me of You, and it was done by Rock City and Super. I think it's very important to know who you are as an artist, which is why I feel for young women in particular, because we are constantly spoon-fed something that is just one thing of beauty, you know. And for me, I don't necessarily fit into any of those molds. I am all for being healthy, don't get me wrong, I'm a woman, and sometimes I go, Lord have mercy, that can come in little, that can let out little, but at the end of the day, I just want to be a positive role model, and that we should all be happy in what we have and what we've been given and work with it.
There's a lot of persons who have been winners of The Voice in the past have not emerged as big stars, as with American Idol. Even if you don't win now in the preliminaries, someone signs you on. Eyes are on you to see that you come out as that big star. What are your thoughts on that?
I think my thoughts are that these things take time, and with Kelly Clarkson, with Carrie Underwood, with Jennifer Hudson, it was never an overnight thing. You know, I look at Cassidy Pope, who's just went platinum, and she has been nominated for a Country Music Award, and the same thing with Danielle Bradbury, who she's just been able to do the song for the Olympics. So for me, I can't watch those things. I know I can be the best artist I can be, but I'm not going to be ruled or pressured by just record sales or just, you know, a certain level, because to me, doing what I'm doing here with you guys is my definition of success and me living my dreams. So that's how I'm going to measure that. I know for all intents and purposes I was not the typical winner, and you know, for me it's been a long road, and I'm not afraid to say it. I've had periods in my career where I really thought, Lord have mercy, is this for me? Because I don't see nothing happening. You know, and I'm not ashamed to say that now, because I believe that, you know, sometimes we are so set on trying to make everybody believe that it's okay and that we're busy and that we're doing well. Well, it's okay sometimes to say, yo, I need some help. You know, and for me, The Voice was me getting up and being helped by people like Shaggy, you know, who saw that I had the passion and I had the drive, but I was just stuck, you know. So I have to give thanks to people like the Shaggies in the world that say, yo, Tess, step out. I have very strong faith, and I stay true to that, but I also, if you notice, there's always one member of my family with me, whether it's my daddy who's here today, or my husband, or my sister, or very close friends, and I keep my family around me as much as possible, because they sure do bring me back down to earth. So yeah, the biggest thing that I want to do in my life in music is that I want to create music that people will remember, and music that will touch people, because it's one thing to just sing a song, it's one thing when your song lives, you know. And that's why I love people like Bob Marley and people like Whitney Houston, people like that, because no matter what, their message is still relevant today, and that's the type of artist I want to be. In terms of my personal life, there's a lot going on right now, so I guess in like about 3 or 4 years, my personal life can develop in that way, where I can celebrate this day as Mother's Day too.
Stay with us. Up next, the distinct souvenir pieces of the festival.